And we are back with another session here, our podcast, 100 Families in Pulaski County. Again, as we always do, we have amazing guests. We have in the studio Pastor Milton Graham. Yes! Thank you for joining us, Pastor Graham. You have a lot of information to share with us today, and you are definitely not a stranger to the Alliance. You have been a part of several platforms and panels that we've had. Our launch, you were a part of that one. You've been a part of two others, and then you're going to join us for Thursday. You've been very vocal. You have done a lot of work. I want you to please share with us just your work that you have. I guess because we had a conversation about your full-time,
right,
and then your other full-time job. So if you could just share with us a little bit of your background, who you are, what you do,
all right,
and who you serve, what area you serve, and just talk about our partnership. We'll get into that too.
Absolutely. But first of all, let me thank you once again for asking me to be a part. I look at it as an open door to do ministry. God grants us that, and so thank you for the work that you're doing. I'm excited about the work that you're doing with 100 families. I think it's just it's awesome. Well, we've been serving in the capacity of the senior pastor at Bethesda now for over 23 years in the community, Jones and Worthing community. And I often say, kind of one of my mantras is that we're in the neighborhood, keeping the neighbor in the hood, so it's not just a hood.
I love that.
So, we do a lot of outreach. We've operated a food pantry, a clothes closet. Over the years, we do 3 big events every year. We do call it the Thanksgiving Meals on Wheels, or we're about ramping up for that right now. So we've been doing that for probably about 15 years or more, maybe longer than that. And we take them to the homeless shelters, take them to anywhere, take them to under the bridge, wherever people need a meal, a hot meal. And we've had a number of, we can't do it on our own. We thank God for I call them the faithful, friendly faces of Bethesda, but a lot of people come in, they see what we're doing. They say, hey, we want to help you. And we come in and we do that. We've had partners over the Benny Keith partnered with us. We've had some doctors and different people who say, hey, we want to assist and help you. We do that. We do the Christmas giveaway. Christmas giveaway. We started out with partnering with the Marine Toys for Tots doing that.
Right.
And then over the years, we've had a partnership through DHS, the fire department. We've had just City Serve assisting us in the last couple of years, just giving gifts and toys and items to families who otherwise may not be able to realize, some tangible things, and we know that the toys and the gifts and things like that, they will eventually play out, but it goes a long way. I often say that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You do that through some tangible means, feed somebody, clothe somebody, give a child a bicycle. We give away a lot of bicycles at time of the year, and then we do the annual, we call it our back to school supplies giveaway. Of course, prior to the pandemic, we gather a whole lot of people in the neighborhood together, bounce houses and all that kind of stuff. We didn't do that this past
because of the pandemic.
Because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But we still did it where we were able to give out a lot of school supplies, and we partnered this past school year with the Stevens Elementary School. We developed church school partnerships. So shout out to Principal Carlock and Martell Hatley, their liaison. So blessed a lot of families in that particular school. So we're excited about that. And so, like I said, we just, it's a labor of love. We have, we're not a huge church congregation, but the people there who are part of the Bethesda church family, they love getting out in the community. So I thank God for that.
I love it.
And then, of course, I work for the Department of Human Services, Division of Children and Family Services.
Yes.
Proud of that work. I look at it as ministry. 29 years working for DHS. I came to work for DHS as a frontline case worker. Doing investigations, doing foster care, going called protective services cases, which are working with families. And a lot of people don't realize that every time a investigation is founded or substantiated, there's not necessarily a reason to remove those children, but it's to try to maintain those children, hopefully safely in their home, while we remedy the reason why they came into care. So there are a lot of the family service workers. Listen, they need a star, because
they do.
I've
do a lot
been there.
of work.
going to foster homes, going to place children, mentoring and working with children, just going to court. Just so many things I could just name, being on calls. A lot of times people don't realize it. They're first responders. We think of in terms, and we should, the police officers, fire department, and the EMTs, but family service workers, they are first responders.
And they have to be there.
They have to be
24/7.
Making assessments on safety, determining whether or not a child needs to be removed, or determining whether or not they can stay at home, and then opening cases up. So I did that. I was in the field. I was an area director in Pulaski County for almost 9 years. And so I was overseeing all of those operations in Pulaski County for that period of time, proud of the work we did there. I'm currently serving as a statewide supervisor for the team decision-making unit in the prevention unit. I'm excited about that because that's on the prevention side. So as I was saying, what I do is in that position, I supervise a group of facilitators. Now, team decision-making came into fruition in the last 7 years, and so we really get into what we call fidelity of team decision-making, which is where we're doing initial team decision-making. So the facilitators and the investigator and a caseworker and supervisor, what they will do is they will schedule a meeting to have whenever there's emergent, there's something that's going on that says, hey, we might have to remove this children. And so let's bring them together before we get to court. And let's bring partners, let's bring community. That's where I'm glad 100 families in Pulaski County, because it's going on in the area too also, where we bring stakeholders together and say, hey, what can we do? Bring family, bring their family members, anybody that can hopefully put a plan together that safely maintain those children in the home. If that can be done, if there's a need for foster care, then you start planning on what we can do for reunification. A lot of people don't realize that about 70% of the children who come into foster care, they're going to go back either to their parents or a guardian or some relative. And we're also trying to open up what's called provisional family foster homes, whereas there's a relative or a fictive kin that can meet the criteria that's necessary to be able to be licensed where the children can be placed there, so they don't have to be placed with strangers. So there's a lot of things going on in that meeting.
Oh, I love that.
So I supervise those facilitators, and they do an awesome job. They don't make the decision, but they are the kind of the mediator. They're the ones that, hey, let's make sure we're looking at why are we here? That's kind of the first thing. And then, what's the concern that the agency have? What's working well? What was working well before we got here? And let's look at the strengths of the family. Let's look at can we come up with a plan? And basically, and then a third thing is like, okay, where are we going from here? And so, but there's a lot of things going on in that meeting. So I go out and coach, I counsel with them, and get a chance to observe those meetings, and it's awesome. I also have been working with Care Portal on the side as a pastor, trying to get churches to be on Care Portal, and then on the side of the agency, just to also trying to assist and help the referrals that come in through Care Portal. It's been difficult through the pandemic, but one of the things that has helped is CityServe. CityServe came along, and so that's resourcing a lot of churches that have a desire, but maybe not the resources to get the necessary resources, hopefully that children don't come into foster care because of poverty. Because they need a bed, because they need a utility bill paid. So that's what Care Portal is about, but CityServe helps to provide some of those things.
I love that. I have had the opportunity to serve or to even sit on in the TDM meeting, and I love the whole aspect and the concept of reunification, because there are ways that we can keep families together based on, just understanding the needs and understanding the family's background, and like you said, where they come from, what they're going through, things that work, things that don't work. So how long has TDM been in place with DCFS?
Like I said, it's been about 7 years. When it first started, and it was, it started I think in Saline County and a few of those areas, but we currently have it in we call Area 1, which is up in Northwest Arkansas, and also where it's well, it's not Area 1 rather, but Area 8, which is Jonesboro, and that area there, which is Craighead County, Lawrence County. I can name all those different counties, but and it's also in Area 5 to a certain extent, which is Faulkner and Conway. Then it's down in Texarkana, Miller County area there, and we also have it in Saline County, which is another area 3. I'm just kind of it's going around. We have it also, of course, in Pulaski County.
Yeah.
And we have Pulaski County, which is a big issue. Just working with team decision, and so we're bringing together what we call fidelity of the model. And I mentioned Sebastian and Crawford County,
yes.
Fort Smith. That's where a large number of children have come into foster care, and it's been like that for a number of years. And so team decision making is not just trying to keep children from coming in care, but to find the safest place. Many times what happens is that we don't have children come into care unnecessarily. And then it also helps with children jump-starting the reunification process. And so, so we're now really getting into, we call it a trigger with team decision making, which was Garrett Law reports. These are reports where it come into the agency through the hotline where an infant has tested positive for a illegal substance, and the mother also, it could be in a meconium, which means that they used some kind of substance that was either a unprescribed prescription or it could be an illegal substance. And so because we had so many child deaths over the many years that we worked and seen that happen, that became a trigger for doing team decision-making meetings. And just so we wanted to make sure that the families were baby ready, so they understand safe sleep, understand that, hey, if you are using, we know that relapse happens. We don't condone relapse, but hey, what can you do? Can you bring some people around in case you are using some substance, so to make sure the children are safe? And so we started doing that. But the fidelity of the model of TDM is that what we would do is whenever there's anything, whether it be because of drugs or illegal substance or substance misuse, it could be domestic violence, it could be physical, sexual abuse, any kind of that the investigator or the caseworker has identified a imminent safety factor or danger that's going on with this family that says either we had to already remove, because many times things happen, in the middle of the night at a certain moment, and there's no choice, you got to remove the children. But what we'll do is still have a team decision-making meeting within 24 to 48 hours, or at least before the court. We have to take it to file an affidavit in court so we can determine whether or not the children can be released. Or if they can't be released safely, then we can start talking about where the children need to be placed, what can we do to start working on. And listen, I've seen families, when we sit down with families across the table, kind of like you and I right now, that's different from what when I first came to the agency, because before team decision making, the investigator would go out into the field on that report, knock on a door, or meet a family wherever they are, and do a safety assessment, doing the best they can, communicating with their supervisor, and have to make that decision on the spot of whether these children come in care right then, regardless. But now, when you sit down with a family across the table and say, hey, bring your grandparents, or bring mom, bring your sister, bring your pastor, bring somebody that you know. A lot of times people don't want people in their business, but we say, hey, we want to make this decision. We're going to have to make this decision regardless whether you're here. We want you to have somebody that you love the children, to be here and help us as a team to come up with a decision. People, they are blown away when they say, you really want to hear from us? Yeah. We're not judging you. We say this is a judgment-free zone. Hey, we want you to be heard. We want you to hear. We want to hear from you.
And they're probably not even used to that.
No,
communicating and having some support to help them through situations or crisis situations. So, and then after that communication, and then you're talking to them, you're connecting them to resources.
Absolutely.
That they may not necessarily know about, or they felt like they couldn't connect to the resources. So TDM is a great thing. You talk about collaboration and doing good in the community. You're not only doing this as a pastor, you're doing this as your 9 to 5 every day. Well, 24/7, because if you on call and you have a whole team. But I mean, your work is so imperative, not just for your church community and the community that you serve, but for your work community and the families you're serving, that you've served for over 23?
Yes, 23
23 years. My God, how do you do it?
By the grace of God. God gave me, people ask me, I said,
thank you.
Only by God's grace.
Don't start preaching up here now. Okay, but so you have done a lot of, I went on your website, of your church website. I did not realize you were doing that much work in the community. You are serving so many, and you're connected with, you said, the Care Portal.
Right.
So you tell us how that works.
So Care Portal, I was introduced to that about 2 years ago, I think, and before the pandemic, and I was told about this is a network of churches, and Care Portal actually exists worldwide. It's worldwide, and where you have churches that will decide, hey, we're already doing, and many times that's another thing, trying to pitch Care Portal to churches and pastors. Their first thing they say, hey, we're already doing some outreach, and so we say, well, yeah, that's great, but what Care Portal does, when they are trained to be able to see whenever DCFS, or Children and Family Services, has a need, and the thing about it, that an investigator or a caseworker, they've already identified, they've already assessed this family. They know it's a need. Most of us, when we have a food pantry or closed closet outreach, somebody knock on the church, call the church, hey, I need something. Well, you're going to just say, okay, we may not be able to know whether or not it's real or not. We're going to say whosoever will. And we still do that. Yeah. But Care Portal allows that pastor or that outreach team to say, hey, we know that the agency's already involved this family. And we know if we buy a bed or buy some blankets, one of the first, our church, Bethesda, we answered one of the requests right in the early beginning of it. And it was, we took some beds out to a family, but also we took some blankets. And the outreach, my associate minister, he said, well, Pastor, I came back, I was blown away because I brought some blankets that we had and some clothing, winter clothes that our sons couldn't wear them, but they were still nice. And so we just took them out there to add on to it. And a little girl said to me, he said, well, Daddy, Mommy, we don't have to be cold anymore.
My God.
You say, wow, and then so you're targeting, but that's what Care Portal does. So you get registered on there. You got to have someone, hopefully other than the pastor, that's watching that website or receiving that email that says, hey, the agency has made a referral, and they can answer it through meeting that need. You can also answer and say, hey, we'll pray. Or you can answer it with other churches that are on Care Portal, and other churches can say, hey, you do this and I'll do that, and we can meet this need. So that's what it's really designed. It's a platform so that churches can communicate and collaborate together on meeting specific needs that we already know that have been vetted by DHS, the Children and Family Services. That's what it's about. Again, the pandemic has kind of hampered some of that, but we're still excited, hopefully, that we'll be able to get it recharged and revamped in Pulaski County, especially because CityServe is there for churches who don't have a big outreach budget to be able to purchase or buy things, and so some of those things that can be accessed by churches to help families. So the referrals are made through Care Portal, and then the needs can be met through CityServe for those, but they won't know unless the referrals are made. Unless the referrals are made, they won't know. They won't know. So you got to make some referrals in order to get the stuff that these families need. And I've been recently made aware that there's some things that got to take place. We're going to kind of revisit how that's been going on, because, like I said, it's been a little while since that is, I think, pandemic issues going on, and so hopefully that can get back reconnected so we can do that. Yes, I hope so. So one of the things I do want to say, for those that don't know, I've been knowing Mr. Graham since I was a little girl. I want to shout out Sister First Lady Jackie Graham, because she and my mom used to work in the salons together. Absolutely. So we used to we hung out a long time ago. Just proud and excited. Seem that old. well, thank you for that. But we have, your spirit, you have always been helping in the community. You and Miss Graham. So you're doing a great work. Tell us some of the ways so if we want to get in touch with the church, you might have people that want to refer. Do y'all have a referral way if some of our Alliance members have families that they're coming in contact with that's in the area? Can you tell us where you're located and if we can get in touch with you all? Well, we're located in the Jones and Worthing community, the Bethesda Missionary Baptist Church, what's called Bethesda, mbclr.org, which is our page on the Yeah,
So
website. Yeah, website.
Okay.
And also, we're on Facebook,
Okay.
Bethesda Live Ministries. You can go there and connect with us. We live stream every Sunday morning starting at 10. We also, you can connect with us that way.
Okay.
You can also call the church, 501-666-2974. Lauren Cookwalker.
I know Lauren.
Yes,
Yes.
she will answer. She's awesome. You can also, we have a 7-day-a-week prayer line. You can call in
Cool.
5 a.m. to 5:30. That's early in the morning.
Yes, that's
so
early for
when
me.
somebody get up at 5 a.m., you know they're serious about prayer.
Hey.
Shout out to one of our members who also pastors the Reach Out and Touch Christian Church, Pastor Dave Williams. He's partnered with me to keep that going every morning. He's on from Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And I come
Wow.
on Wednesday through Thursday, Friday, and then we have our members on Saturday. So that goes on, but you can connect through that same number, which is on our Facebook Live page as well, to call in. We have Sunday school. We're doing it via Sunday school.
Okay.
So
We made some changes, haven't we?
Yeah. So we've learned that we've always preached and said that the church is not just the four walls.
That's right.
The pandemic has challenged us to say, okay, is it really
That's
that?
right.
You believe that? So. We've never completely shut our doors, but at one point we've expanded. We know more and more. We're in person, so you can come in person and be there. We practice the CDC guidelines while you're there, and so but we are just doing what we can to connect with people wherever they are.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, we want to thank you for coming. We want to thank you for supporting and partnering with 100 Families. And if you have a takeaway for us, just look into that camera. I think it's that camera.
That camera right there. Okay.
And here you go. Pastor Graham, what do you have? You have a word for us?
Well, again, through this period, and I think I've already said this, but I'll go ahead and say it again. I think it bears saying that you have to reach people, reaching and helping people wherever they are. We have that also our nonprofit, which is 5 Porches CDC. We do a whole lot of reaching people where they are. People don't really care how much you know. We can tell them all day long how much you know about the Lord Jesus Christ, but we have to show them. We show them that love by the way that how we go about doing what we're doing. Not that we give them a meal, not that we just buy a bed or get a bed for them, but how you do that. And so how you show your care and compassion and connect with people makes a big difference. And listen, what that does, it gives you a great feeling on the inside, because now you actually not just going to church, but you actually be in the church. Yes. Be the church and watch God work through you and reach people.
Yes, sir. You've heard it here from Pastor Graham. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our podcast here at 100 Families, Pulaski County. We'll see you next time. Thank you.